This is Mark from Rising Phoenix Kung Fu, and welcome to your 30-day Qi Gong Journey. So this is going to be an introduction video where I'm just going to talk a little bit about what is Qi Gong, what are we going to do over the course, what the sessions look like, what the sort of approximate content will be, and then maybe a few little supporting things about, what sort of the few very limited pieces of equipment or clothing that you might need to take part in this. So welcome. Obviously it's, everyone's living in very difficult times at the moment. We're spending a lot more time indoors. We're not spending so much time in close contact with other people. And this has been going on for quite a while now, and I don't know about anyone else, but it's definitely started to affect me, so I used to have a lot of opportunity to train with people and actually, doing the types of martial arts that I do, especially internal martial arts. There's a lot of work directly, skin on skin contact, partner training, directly with other people, and you get a lot from that. I think we get a lot from that as humans. And it's very difficult to replicate that type of practice. So in my sort of looking inside myself and thinking what I need and what will be best for me now, is to go and do some real internal soft work, working on my breathing, posture, structure, and spending a little bit of time calmly and mindfully with myself. And Qigong is the perfect tool. It's sort of the gateway tool that takes you in towards more advanced meditation. It's sort of like the Chinese equivalent of yoga. So Qi means energy or breath. Gong means work or effort. So it's effort working with your breath or working with your energy. So in that way, it's very similar to things like pranayama and asana in yoga, so the postures that you do to prepare the mind and body in order to take on meditative practice, and it's fallen in a very similar role across the different disciplines in China that use qigong. So in some martial arts styles like Tai Chi or Bagua or Xingyi, it's fully integrated into the practice. So when you're doing Tai Chi, you are doing qigong, right? The Tai Chi form is like an extended qigong movement. In some other styles, it's like you just pick up one or two little sets, and that's to help with the physical aspects of building up the body, relaxation, which are all important for martial arts. But there, it's also just practice for health, and it's also practiced by meditators as well. So in a very similar way to how yoga is designed in the Indian tradition. So the aim of this course is just going to be Qigong for health. So if there are any martial arts movements in there, they're just because I think that they're useful from a health perspective. So it's going to be a non-martial course. So there's not going to be any kicking and punching, no screaming and fighting, right? So the aim here is for personal development, lengthening, deepening and softening the breath, improving posture, improving structure in the body, but not without stiffness, lengthening some of the soft tissue, and also we will do some beginning meditative practices. So we're going to do most of our meditation in what's called standing meditation. So again, focusing more on the physical body rather than the mental body. But all those things overlap. So when you are standing still for a period of time and focusing on your breath, you are beginning the process of meditation. So all those things together. What does an individual class look like? So generally I'll sort of introduce the class and say what we're going to cover today. Then we will start off with some gentle movement exercises just to get the body warmed up, get what we say the Qi moving, right? So and they'll just be really soft and you follow along with those. Then we might do a few static stretches. So, and that'll look very similar to stretching in a normal sort of Western after exercise type class, or similar to a yoga pose, So we might pick 3 or 4 different static stretches, just hold them for a period of breathing. Don't go beyond your own means. Try to go to the appropriate level for you. Don't overstretch, right? It's very important. You just try and go to just the point where there's a little bit of tightness or tension, and then you just relax into that. And every time you breathe out, just relax a bit more. Don't bounce up and down, and don't rush any of the movements. As a general rule, at any point, just stop and pause the video. And if you need 5 more breaths, 10 more breaths in a posture, if you want to just repeat a movement, 5, 10, 20 times, please do so. I think that's very, very important. Don't just try and rush along one posture after the other. I don't blitz through the movements anyway. But if you need more time and space, then please take it. Right, so we start off, we'll do some basic movements, get everything moving, get things warmed up a little bit. Then we will do some static stretches. Then we'll normally do some standing meditation. So we'll stand in a fixed posture. The reason I like standing is because we all spend a lot of time sitting these days. Sitting down watching TV, most people's jobs are in front of a screen. I understand the irony of teaching this in front of a screen, but we get a chance to stand up, right, and use some of those other postural muscles that were much more common. Also, it's got some nice benefits in that it focuses really on the physical body, rather when you're sitting down, it's much more in the mind, right, and the emotional body. So it's got some other nice benefits there. And then we'll really do a short sequence. Maybe I'll pick 1 or 2 key qigong postures, and we'll do those for many repetitions, and we'll build up a short set of those. So to begin with, there'll only be 1 or 2 postures, and I'll break them down, explain them, coach them, and then we'll do them together. And then I normally like to finish off with a little bit of seated qigong as well, or lying potentially as well. So most of the practice will be done in a sort of standing, or there's a lot of squatting in Chinese qigong systems. It's very beneficial to the health. So either sort of high or medium squat, and then we'll finish with either some seated meditation or lying meditation as well. Lying meditation is very, very good for relaxation, right? So for really letting go of any physical tension and breaking that down. We may also do some specific training with the breath. So from when we're lying, we may also do some deep abdominal breathing and some work specifically with that. And then, so each time we'll just add a few additional movements or change the sequence a little bit, but there'll be a consistent theme throughout the 30 days. But by the end of it, you'll have a much larger, richer sequence, and then you can go away and build your own routine. And hopefully it'll be something that can stay with you for long periods of time. So what do you need to take part in this? You don't need anything. I mean, you could do it just however you want, but here's a few coaching tips. I recommend some loose, flexible trousers and stuff that you wouldn't mind exercising or doing a yoga class in. It's very, very similar. You can do it barefoot, or you can get a nice, if you want a little bit of extra support, you can get some nice sort of inside, these are sort of Chinese martial arts shoes, or any pair of kind of flat, like these, for example, are a pair of running shoes with, sort of minimalist running shoes. They work perfectly fine as well. You don't want anything with too much of a squidgy big heel on it, because it means you won't really be connecting to the floor, and you're kind of propped up, and you're always going to be kind of bouncing off that. So yeah, ideally you either want barefoot or something without much of a heel. I also recommend pillow of some kind, so especially when we do the seated qigong, it won't be the major part of it, but we will do sometimes, and yeah, I recommend either sort of the kind of things, these just come from my couch here, they're really good, or 1 or 2 small pillows works fine as well. You want to be warm enough to be able to do the practice, so either at home and make sure that you've got enough heating for you to do the practice, or these kind of like thermal things are very good, or just a jumper. And when we do lying practice, you may want a blanket as well, so just to make sure that you don't get too cold. So, and it's, when we're doing the standing and the squatting stuff, it's not really an issue because you'll generate heat in the body, especially when you squat. But when you do the seated and especially the lying practice, you can quite often lose a little bit of heat. So a blanket or warm clothes are a good idea. And then one other thing that I heartily recommend is either a glass of water, warm water, or tea, which is just brilliant. Yeah, can't really go wrong with that. To make sure that you stay hydrated throughout, and a little bit of green tea or red tea is no problem at all. Good. I think that's about everything. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to doing this 30-day at home Qi Gong journey with all of you. Thank you very much for your time.